We find that a lot of healthcare papers are written in a very structured way. They have the introduction, they have the methods, they have the results, and they have the conclusion. Um, and when you're looking at each component, you can see certain patterns occurring. Like the very last line of your introduction is around like kind of what are the objectives of this of the paper. So like here though it's saying the purpose of the study was to determine, and it explains what it's actually like I'm looking at. When you're looking at like the methods, it's the same type of thing. You're explaining where the data is actually coming from, what type of statistics you're like using, and you're like then like kind of actually using like what type of like software are you applying. The results section is the same thing. The discussion section is like well the very last like part of it will like talk about like what are the limitations of this study, and then like and then you have the conclusion. And the reason why a lot of these papers are like written like kind of in the like same way is that they're like kind of actually like forced like to so they're actually forced to use basically a template. So one of these templates is the strobe statement. And when you actually look at it, it like kind of actually lays out here is exactly how your paper should be formatted. Here are all the parts of it. Like here are all the components, and here is in fact kind of what it's actually to like kind of include and to like actually report on. So what we've done is we've like written this software that like helps us actually basically like it allows us to actually help like kind of make these templates um, where we then can apply it towards some software which we've written, and this actually helps us actually write the paper. So to like start, we would like kind of open up like kind of a template. And for like here though, we're like kind of actually just choosing like kind of this Excel spreadsheet. And then what the software does is it takes the Excel spreadsheet and it puts it into a certain format that allows us to work like really like kind of work like really kind of quickly like with it. So what we have is up in the upper left hand corner, we have all the basically components or the concepts. We call them concepts. And in the lower left-hand window, we have the variables that are used. In the middle, it's like kind of where we actually like kind of construct the sentences that are used in the writing. And over in the right-hand side, we have some other like tools that will actually look at the papers and then help us extract what we're actually looking for. So what we would do here is we would actually kind of actually select a folder that has the papers that we want to like kind of examine. So in this case, we're looking at the NSQIP readmissions, and we would kind of actually just select that folder. And here though, if we then basically type in, let's say objective, sentence, and hit process, it will then look through all the full text, and it will look through all the full text of those papers, and it will extract all the sentences that have that word objective. So right now it's just basically processing. And in this folder, we had about 30 different PDFs that actually basically matched what we were looking for. So it's like kind of working its way through those. While we're waiting for like on that, what we as well have down at the like kind of bottom center is kind of like is like kind of like where it will actually basically show like kind of what all these like concepts and the variables combined look like. So if we kind of return to like kind of what we have here. So here though, under the tree, it will like kind of actually list all the like kind of papers here, and then it will actually list the sentences where we were able to basically um, find those like kind of words. So like here though, we have actually basically like two. We have actually two like sentences that found the word, and then we can basically look to see how are they basically explaining it, so that we then can basically apply that like writing into our into the way that we actually construct sentences. We as well can like summarize things. So like kind of what this will do is it will take the top 10 most frequently ranked sentences for like kind of what we're looking for. Or we could actually basically say only show us the top 14, and then it will then basically kind of um, um, show us the sentences that like kind of most closely basically match what we're looking for. We as well can like kind of view all this as a table, basically structure as well. So it then like kind of is like kind of like where we can look under the sentence, and we can actually like have like a very quick view of like kind of where the word like kind of basically appears. So if we actually kind of go back, what we have is, like I said, we have these concepts, and then under the concept, we have a subconcept, and then we have actually different variations. So a subconcept would like kind of actually be if there's a paragraph where we may have like kind of 2 or 3 things that we have to include in that paragraph, we would actually create a subconcept for each like kind of one of those. So if we're actually basically looking at like, let's say, so if we were to look at the background first paragraph, there we have like a part A, a part B, and a part C. And if we were to click on this and then actually scroll down into like kind of actually where the sentences are, we then would actually kind of see that under the background first paragraph, under the first sub concept, we then would have actually like kind of 2 different variations. And these variations essentially say the same thing, but in a different way. So it's called paraphrasing. And for here though, what we actually do is we like kind of actually, what we actually do is we like kind of actually, whatever we have in like kind of a bracket, that's actually a variable that's actually taken from here, and it will actually substitute that information, and then at that point, this will actually basically like show like kind of what the sentence is. So down here, it will say basically like kind of what that first like kind of variation shows. If we click on the second one, it's like kind of essentially saying the exact same thing, but in a different way, because we're actually using a different paraphrasing. So what we can do is we can kind of actually like kind of right click on these, and then we can like add a concept, or we can delete a concept. So if we add a concept, and let's actually call this when background slash adjective and underscore, and let's call this readmissions, because we're like kind of only looking at like kind of the readmission literature. So if we click on OK, it's then made that concept. It's then made a subconcept, and under here it's the first variation. So if we actually kind of scroll down, down here, what we see is we see that this is actually we like kind of actually see that like kind of this is where we can actually basically like kind of we can type in what we want that sentence to appear with. So if we were to kind of return to kind of the summarize, we have the objective of the study was to estimate the difference and things like that, or the objective of the study is to characterize the reasons. So what we can do is we can kind of just take that sentence that we want. We can then basically drag it across, and it then goes, the objective of the study was to characterize, and here's where we can actually kind of start to change things. So if so here though, it's like kind of I'm saying that so for here though, it's like kind of actually a very long sentence. It includes some other data. So we like probably actually so we probably actually don't basically want that. So what we do is we then would actually basically erase like kind of the parts that we actually don't want. And so it kind of looks like there's a kind of so it looks like there's kind of a lot. So for here, and so like kind of for here though, we then would then like kind of actually just like kind of so we would kind of change what we want. And then what we can do is we then can kind of head in here as well, and we can actually substitute certain things for like the variables. So for here, what you would just do is you would kind of just make so you'd make basically all these triangle brackets, and then that's actually a placeholder for actually basically a variable. Now, what I did was I replaced the word study, and in the past, what we've done is we've done basically a synonym for study. So study, research, analysis. And what will happen is to help in the writing, the paraphrasing, it will actually substitute one of those words. So if we then take this and we drag it into that sentence, and then we'll then kind of just insert it to words where we actually add a bracket. So the objective of this, and if we look, now it's basically gone, the objective of this study, research, analysis, and when we run the other software, it will actually just choose one of those. And that's how the writing basically occurs. So, so you then can basically add like kind of other like so you can either add other variables, you can copy variables, you like can like erase them. Like I've said before, you can kind of actually basically like add other concepts. And as you're working through this, you can save your like kind of Excel file. You can save as, create like a new version. And that's actually something that I would actually recommend. One more thing I'll just show you that if like kind of we were to actually choose a new keyword. So let's say we choose the word limitations, and we hit actually basically process, and then we'll actually basically go through all those PDFs looking for like kind of on that word as well. What I would actually basically recommend is it kind of helps just basically writing this out like in like Word, and then just doing almost a copy paste. Unless you have a very large like screen that allows you to like kind of just open up like all of the to open up all of the different like kind of windows. It's kind of a little bit tougher, just kind of working on like kind of a laptop, right? So for here though, I kind of returned, and then as you're seeing, you're like seeing like kind of words like limitations of existing studies include. However, there were several statistical and contextual limitations. So this actually just helps you basically find how are other papers like kind of reporting on the same wording. So that's kind of an overview of this software. It's only kind of right now at a version 2. It's really only ever been used by me, nobody else. Thank you.